at trigonometry, and in particular, how you find unknown sides. And what we do is we use this mnemonic way of remembering. SohCahToa. The S stands for the sine, the C stands for the cosine, and the T is the tangent, which I'll abbreviate to tan, which is on your calculator. But how do we decide which ratio to use? Well, it's important. We label the sides correctly, and the sides are labelled O, A, or H. And you only label sides where there is a letter or a number. Okay, let's go through example A. See if we can label the sides right and then decide which trig ratio to use. Now, what is the side? Is the side opposite the angle? Does it have a letter or a number? It does. So I'm going to label that one O. O for opposite the angle. Just put a line through it if you're not sure. Now, what about this one here? Is it the adjacent one or the hypotenuse? Well, two sides always touch an angle. The hypotenuse is the longest side touching the angle. So I put H there. Why don't I put anything here? Well, because there's no number or letter. So the two letters involved in this one are O and H. Which trig ratio is that? It's S, the sine. So this is what you write. You write the sine of the angle equals. Now it's O over H. So you may as well write that down. And then you put in the values for O. That was X. And the value for H, which was 17. Let's get rid of that now. I'm trying to find out what X is. How do I make X the subject? How do I solve this equation? Well, I multiply both sides, the whole thing by 17. These cancel out. And on the left-hand side, you've got 17 times sine 24. And that equals X. And then all you have to do now is find your calculator and type in 17 times sine 24, close the brackets, always good practice. And there you go, 6.91, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to round that to one decimal place, so it becomes 6.91, and check what units I'm working. Sorry, did I say one decimal place? So it's 6.9, apologies. And the units we're working in are centimetres. Okay, let's go through that again. I'll just clear this gubbins. Oops. I don't want to clear everything here. Right, question B. Now let's label the sides then. The angle opposite. Oh, hang on, there's no number there. All right, let's just throw a number in. Let's say that this is, I don't know, 8 centimetres. Okay, let's go back to the problem there. So I'm going to label this side opposite the angle, O. Now, do I label that A or H? Is it the longest side touching 64 degrees? It isn't. So we label it A. Now, which trig ratio has A and H? Here we are. It's the cosine. So, that could be worth a mark, getting the right trig ratio. So the cosine of 64 degrees equals, oh, for pity's sake, what another mess up. Forget this video. No, I won't. I'll continue, because I can't. Here we go. It's O and A. What a mess up. It isn't cosine, is it? Silly. It's this one here. O over A. So it's the tangent. So I'm going to write the tan of 64 degrees equals X over 8. Like we did before, to get rid of the 8, to try and solve this, I'll multiply the whole thing by 8. So you get 8 times tan 64 degrees equals X. And that's the hard bit done. Let's multiply that 8 times tan 64, close the brackets, bish, bosh, bish, 16.4. There you go. The answer to that is 16.4. Let's check the units. Again, it's centimetres. Okay, 16.4 centimetres. And the last one. Okay, this is how you'll get above target, because it's a tricky one. Let's try and get this trig ratio correct first. Which one am I going to use? So let's label the sides. Yeah. The one opposite the angle has some information, has the number 9 and cm, so it's 9 centimeters. So I'm going to label that one. What about this one here? Now it's touching the angle of 38 degrees, but it's the longest one touching it, so I label it H. Why don't I label this? Because there's no information, there's no letter, nor is there any value given to it. So let's have a look. I've got O and H. It's the sine. So again, I'm going to use the sine. So I'll write the sine of 38 degrees equals O over H. But look at the difference this time. Here, I've got the number on the top and the letter on the bottom. That means there's a bit more algebra involved. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply everything by x. So you get x times sine 38 degrees equals 9. But I'm trying to find out what x is. I'll just get rid of this gubbins here. So I've got one more step of algebra to do, boys and girls. I've got to take the sine 38 and put it underneath the 9. So x is equal to 9 over sine 38 degrees. See where it went? It was beside the x. When I move to the other side, it goes underneath the value there. Let's see what that gives us. 9 over sine 38 equals 14.6 to 1 decimal place. Okay, I hope, despite the mix-up in the middle of that video, that's of some use to you. Okay, thank you.